Hey everyone, my name is Drew. I write under the pen name D.S. Davis. I'm an independent literary fiction author, as well as a special ed teacher here in the state of Florida. Um, this channel is pretty lo-fi. I want to talk books, I want to talk writing, I want to talk teaching, and I want to talk a little bit about life and philosophy. And one of the things that you have to hit on when you're talking about those things is the artwork that inspired the culture, the American culture, the Western culture that we live in today. One of those books is The Big Sleep by Raymond Chandler. Um, this book is is one of the books that defined the mystery genre in the United States. It was published in 1939, and it brought about the character of Philip Marlowe. And Philip Marlowe is this hard-boiled noir-style detective that has become so famous in American culture. It is an atmospheric novel. It is plot is sort of secondary to everything else in this novel. It wants to make you feel sort of like film noir does, that you are in a very dark, jazzy, moody story. This is set in Los Angeles, which always carries that sort of feeling anyway, as a setting. And what it wants you to do is to get you to think less about solving the mystery. It's less of a game board or a video game, and more about living through this corrupt world that Chandler is able to create. So the premise of this is a very wealthy man has lost his daughter. He doesn't know where his daughter is. Knows that she is into some shady dealings with some shady people, and he is dying as well. So he hires Detective Marlowe, basically to gather some information on his daughter, to find out where she is, and to take care of whatever needs to be taken care of, not only to get his daughter back, but to free her from the situation that she has caused. As Marlowe goes about this, he runs into all sorts of problems. As you can imagine, as he sort of descends into this world, there's going to be corruption, there's going to be moral decay, there's going to be this sense of alienation and paranoia. There's going to be a blurring line between what is a moral way to solve the case, and what needs to be done to solve the case. Now, this was written, as we said, this was published in the 1930s. So the ideas about masculinity and what it means to be sort of a stand-up guy in the culture from that era are present, certainly, in this story. Marlowe is sort of this macho, strong and silent type, who blends in any crowd, who is willing to do what he's got to do to sort of get the job done. This is the character that has inspired thousands and thousands and thousands of characters since then in that role. He's cynical. He's got this sort of personal code of honor and chivalry. He's witty, sarcastic. He is able to compartmentalize certain things that he sees, and that he has to do, to sort of detach himself from the job. But he is sort of disgusted by the people he's working for. So that the way that these wealthy people are able to move through the world seemingly without that sort of code, and without any attachment to the society around them. As far as writing style goes, this is very sharp, very atmospheric, very quick, very punchy. They're not long, drawn-out sentences. He's not trying to hit any sort of word count or level of vocabulary. As a teacher, this would be something that, content-wise, I wouldn't let younger students read. But in terms of difficulty, if somebody is looking to sort of make a foray into great American literature, I would certainly prescribe this in the early stages of that, because this is very digestible. This is something that an early reader, or that someone who is maybe trying to just sort of find their way in reading the American classics, could digest and could work with. It's fast paced. There's a lot of sort of metaphoric stuff going on that you can chew on, easy metaphor. And again, it's more focused on mood. It's more focused on character than it is plot. Philip Marlowe is the story in this book. The influence on film, the influence on detective fiction, is indescribable. If you've watched the movie The Big Lebowski, this is what The Big Lebowski is based on. The Big Lebowski is sort of a satirical version of this Raymond Chandler novel, The Big Sleep. So with that, I would definitely recommend giving it a read. This is about an American man running through a rotten world and trying to do his best, which is what most of American fiction is about. If you like this video, you can subscribe below. I'd love to have a conversation with you. Thanks.